Hi, sorry I'm a little late posting this story. I have completely lost my voice yesterday and the day before. I was pretty much unable to get anything out, and I may cough a little bit as I tell the story today, so just bear with me a little bit. Today I'm going to tell a participation story, and later tonight when it gets dark I will do a scary story because it's always better to tell scary stories in the dark. But today the participation story I'm going to do is called The Rain Hat, and I'm going to be using a piece of paper. This is just a normal 8.5 by 11 piece of copy paper, so if you want to get a piece of paper to do the story with me, please feel free. And that's what's going to make it a participation story, is that it's a story where everyone gets to participate, or at least some people get to participate. So there are different ways to do participation stories, and this is just one. Excuse me. Alright, this is a story about a little girl who was standing inside watching the rain fall outside, and she really didn't like playing inside. It was boring, and there was nothing to play with but this one piece of paper. So the little girl looked outside at the rain, and she looked at her piece of paper, and she got an idea. So she took her piece of paper and she folded it. And now I want you to fold your piece of paper in half and make a crease, and then I want you to turn it like this so the fold is facing up towards my nose. And then she took her piece of paper and she folded it again. Now fold it in half again, because basically you just want to make a crease in the middle of the paper. And then the little girl folded the paper again, and now I want you to take the corner over this corner, and I want you to fold it down till the edge meets the crease that you've made. So it's going to look like that on the one side, and then you're going to do the same with the other corner. So take the other corner and fold that crease down so that you have a strange looking triangular shape. And the little girl kept folding the piece of paper. Now you're going to take this little flappy part in the front and you're going to fold it up so that it covers. It went from this to this, and then you've got this flap hanging down in the back. You're going to turn your piece of paper around and you're going to fold this and make another flap. And now you have a hat. So open up your hat and put it on your head. Okay. So the little girl decided she'd go outside now because she had a hat. And if you do this with newspaper, you have a bigger hat that you can actually put on your head and let go of. But for purposes of this story, I'm going to use this paper and I'm going to hold the hat on my head. So the little girl went outside and she had the hat on to protect herself, and it was raining very hard. But when the little girl looked around, she saw that amazingly there was a house on fire, and she really wanted to help put out the fire. So she took off her hat. And you have your hat like this. Turn it like this so that you have your hands on either side, and tuck your thumbs up inside your hat so that the thumbs are kind of meeting these creases. So you're holding the hat like this. Stick your thumbs inside. Now pull so that you've now made a square shape. Okay? And on either side you have these little flappy things that are sticking out. I want you to pick one side, it doesn't matter which side, and tuck the flap in. So I tucked the flap on this side. Now that same side, I'm going to take and fold this corner up to the top. So I took the side where I tucked in the flap, and I'm going to fold the corner up to the other corner on top, and I'm going to leave the other side alone. And now what do I have? I have a fireman's hat. So the little girl put on the fireman's hat and she went to help fight the fire. So she poured lots of water on the fire and lots of water on the fire, and with the rain coming down, it also helped to put the fire out. And before long, there wasn't a fire anymore, but the rain was coming down, and she had poured a lot of water on the fire, and it was starting to flood, and that made her think that she might like to be a pirate. So she took her hat off and she folded it. Now you take this flap on the other side that you didn't tuck in before. You can flatten your hat. So you've got your hat like this, your fireman's hat. Now you're going to flatten your hat. You're going to tuck the other flap in that was holding it, that you had open before as you were making a fireman's hat, and take this corner and fold it up so that it's just like the other side. And now you have a pirate's hat. So the little girl put on the pirate hat, and she was pretending to be a pirate. She was pretending to be Captain Hook fighting Peter Pan. She was having a really good time, but the water kept on coming down, and the little girl realized, oh my gosh, this is not good. What I really need is a boat. So she took her hat off and she folded it. Now you're going to turn your hat again so it's facing this way, and you have it with your fingers in front and stick your thumbs on the inside, and you're going to pull from flat, pull it out like so. Now move your fingers up to the top, flatten that piece out, move your fingers up to each side, and you're going to pull it straight across to make a boat. So the little girl climbed inside the boat, and she felt safe in the boat because at least she was not going to float away in the flood that was happening because all the water was coming down. But the boat was moving very fast, and the little girl had no control of the boat. And pretty soon she hit a rock, and it tore one side off her boat. And the boat was out of control, and it was going faster and faster. And pretty soon she hit a house, and it tore the other side off of her boat. But fortunately, she was still able to float until she hit a very large building, and it tore a hole right in the middle of her boat. And what happened when there was a hole in the middle of her boat? The boat started to sink very slowly. But the little girl wasn't worried. And now I want you to unfold your paper, because she realized that she was wearing a life jacket. Yay.